My name is Jason Sago, 3rd degree black belt in Jiu-Jitsu, former UFC fighter. I'm going to show you guys how to escape the back position. Let's get into it. When you guys are defending the back position, the first thing is don't let your opponent get full control. So he's already got control with his hooks. We don't want them to get control of the upper body, meaning he's got like an over-under grip. So before that happens, you want to make sure that one, you're leaning forward. That makes him extend his arms a little bit more and he's got to reach. And then we're going to use our hands. You got to use a cross grip like here, like an X pattern, or you can go high block. So that way when you try to connect his hands, you're blocking here, you can block the other side, and we're also shrugging our shoulders. So I don't want to open up my chin so it's easy for him to slide underneath and start attacking my neck here. I want to make sure I'm using my shoulders as he's going to reach. I'm blocking with my shoulders, blocking with my shoulders, and eventually as he's reaching, I'm trying to control. Get one control, two control. So 2 versus 1, the odds are now in my favor. I'm gonna pop this over my head as I lower my level. I lower my level by digging my heels into the mat. I scoot down and pop this over my head. Boom, here. Once you get this over your head, you're then gonna need to turn into him. But you can't when he's controlling your hips with this hook. If I try to turn in now, you're gonna hit resistance. So what you gotta do is, one, create a little bit of tension. So I'm popping my hips up to the sky, and then I'm going to release the control just for a half a second to clear the hook. I'm gonna kick my legs straight and clear the hook. Boom, here. Once you've cleared the hook, that gives you the ability to rotate your hip. So I'm controlling the arm, I cleared the hook, and now I'm gonna begin my rotation and come out on top. So I rotate my hips over, and then coming out on top. So I'll show it from the beginning. One is defense. Make sure that you're defending the choke. So he's reaching in, he's trying to lock something up. We're blocking, getting a hold of that grip. As soon as you get a hold of the grip, you're gonna go 2 hands on one, pop it up, scoot down. Boom. Once you're on this side, clear the hook. Clear the hook and turn in. Boom. Ideally, passing the legs at the same time. Once you've defended the choke and began your escape, this is a nice sneaky choke. We're gonna transition to the Darce choke. So as I'm driving into my opponent, I'm gonna extend my arm and reach for his head. Once you get the head, we're gonna then continue our rotation and lock up my bicep here. So if we turn, as you're rotating, grab your bicep here. Connect with the shoulder blade. We're gonna switch our hips here, and then we're gonna start to apply the pressure by leaning back and driving the bar of my arm up into his carotid artery. I'll shoot an additional video on the Darce choke. Check out our channel later on. Number one danger when someone's at your back is the choking arm. So there's no sense in me holding this underhook arm because he's just gonna slide, finish it right there. So we always want to protect our neck, tuck your chin, and defend by controlling the choke arm. So 2 hands on one. If he tries to choke you now, he's gonna fight a lot more resistance. So priority number 1 is survive, defend. Number 2 is begin your escape. So in order for me to escape, I'm gonna then kickstand up and go towards the underhook side, away from the choke. So this is the choking arm. I'm gonna go away from it by kickstanding up, getting good base, and using my foot to drive. As I'm driving, I'm trying to get my head to touch the mat here. I want my head position to win. If his head is on the mat here, he's winning the head position. I need to grind, get my head to connect to the mat here. The next step is to change the angle, because just because your head is on the mat doesn't mean you're safe from the choke. If I'm here, he could still slide in the choke from this angle and finish the fight. Don't want that to happen. So we're controlling the choke arm. I'm getting my head to the mat. The next part is to change the angle. So look at my feet here. I'm gonna drive my feet into the mat. I'm gonna angle my chest so that I'm facing the sky now. Now, when he tries to slide the choke in here, it's not the correct angle. It's very difficult for him to finish the choke. So now my priorities switch. I don't need to defend the choke. I need to worry about the next step, and that's him going into the mount position, because if I have my hands up here and I'm defending the choke and he just goes up to the mount, this is bad. It's a bad spot for me, especially MMA. He could land strikes here. This is where I don't want to be. Jiu-Jitsu, you just lost another 4 points if you did a tournament. So we're here. You did a good job starting your escape. You changed the angle, so now I don't need to worry about the choke. Now I gotta be mindful of his next move, which is the mount. In Jiu-Jitsu, you always gotta be 1 step ahead of your opponent. So I know he wants to go to the mount. I'm already gonna be blocking it. Hands, frames, going to the knee, framing across his hip. As he goes to the mount, I begin to shrimp, and get my feet back up on the hips where I'm safe. So let's go from the beginning. Number one priority, defend the choke. We're here, he's got his arms wrapped, I'm controlling that arm. Next thing, falling away from the choke, going towards his underhook side. Post, drive your head to the mat, boom. Again, changing the angle. Not here, use your feet, drive, get your chest facing up. You've changed the angle, so now you can't be choked. His next move is to go to mount, so block his mount and begin your shrimping. Get your feet back on the hips, and you successfully escape the back position. So again, somebody's at your back. You wanna make sure priority number one is defending that choke. Another option to escape is to go into the choke side, so into this overhook arm. So again, kick standing, driving that foot, getting to this position here. So if I try to scoop my hips from this angle, you can see I'm not gonna beat his hook. So I gotta clear the hook. I'm gonna use my foot, stomp down on his hook, and then I'm going to put my own hip over the top. So we just changed the angle a little bit. So when I'm here, I stomp, leg press down, clear, put that weight down, and I wanna make sure I'm closing the gap, because if I leave this space between my knee and my elbow, he's just gonna fill it. Boom, easy, right? Easy for him to recover. But when you close that gap, he tries to put that hook in again, it's not gonna happen. So close the gap after you've cleared that leg. After you've cleared the leg here, we're gonna need to shimmy. And ideally, you wanna be getting this frame, elbow on the inside. So as I start to square up and turn into my opponent, use your feet, shrimp, shrimp, get your frame in, shrimp, and then get back to the guard. That's if you have the space. Another thing that could happen is they're staying super tight. And when they stay super tight, they could end up in a position where they're threatening what's called a head and arm choke. So if I try to turn, but I'm feeling this resistance, I don't necessarily want to go flat on my back here, because you might end up in a position where you're gonna end up getting choked out with a head and arm choke. So I'm gonna show what to do if that happens. If you feel it's too tight and you don't have the space and you're in danger of the head and arm choke, keep turning away from them. Let me show you what I mean. Stomp, clear, I try to turn in, there's too much resistance, keep going, keep coming up, boom, I'm turning away, getting the underhook, and then collapsing, pull, past the guard. This is another common back escape I use when you're fighting against an overly aggressive opponent, meaning they're not just attacking with one choke arm, they're attacking with two. So they're both like going over. So he's just doubled his chances of getting a rear naked choke, but he's also lost control because now he no longer has an underhook, traditional underhook. So when somebody doesn't have an underhook on you, scoot down. So let's say he's going for double chokes, I'm defending, use my feet, I scoot down. That angle change already makes it more difficult for him to get the choke. And now from this position, I'm gonna clear a hook because I want the ability to turn my hips. So I'm using my elbows, pressuring on his calf muscles. I'm gonna kick my leg straight, clear the hook. Now I've unlocked the ability for my hip to rotate over. One important detail is make sure this elbow does not go over. Big detail, because if I turn into him and I go over, look what happens. I end up in a triangle choke, right? So we gotta make sure that as you're scooted down and you've cleared that elbow, we're gonna make sure that this elbow is in, not out. In is safe, this is gonna get you in a triangle. So elbow in, you're gonna rotate up, boom, and come out. So from the beginning here, aggressive opponent at your back, you're defending, he's got two chokes going, I'm scooting down, pressuring on the calf muscles, clearing a hook. That gives me the ability to rotate over, elbows on the inside, the safe side, and rotate up, boom, to escape the back. Thanks for watching, guys. If you want to know more about the offensive side of jiu-jitsu, how to do submissions, how to control your opponent, check out this next video.